All right, so I had to come on and make a video before I forgot it, forgot to do so, and before the news gets too old. So yesterday in Washington D.C., there was something called the Million MAGA March, where supposedly a million people from the Trump base went to D.C. to peacefully protest because of all the chaos and the craziness that's happening because of the election. We are now what? It's now the 15th. We are now 12 days out from the election. The media continues to claim that Joe Biden is president elect, but none of the states have certified that. And now you've got the Democrats, the media, and Biden supporters screaming at us on the other side to shut up, sit down, be quiet, and accept the results. They want to spin unity and they want to say all this stuff about unity, but the problem is that there's news coming out now that the mainstream media isn't going to tell you because it doesn't fit their narrative, and that's BLM and Antifa waited for the Trump event to start breaking up in Washington D.C., and then they assaulted Trump supporters, including children and women and families. The Democrats want to call for unity and they want to spin all this unity, but it's unity. It's more so submit to our thought or else. How are we supposed to have unity when the other side criticized our president for 4 years and then on top of that assaulted Trump supporters every chance they got? See, now that Joe Biden's the supposed winner, is now they're saying, oh, we need to unify. It's time to heal the nation, and you need to accept the results of the election. None of you accepted the results of the election 4 years ago, and this is getting to be ridiculous. This is not. This is turning into George Orwell's 1984, where Big Brother's watching you, and if you don't submit to the party and you don't submit to the narrative and you dare to question things, so what? You get assaulted, you get shut down, you get censored. What, the Constitution doesn't matter anymore? I can tell you this right now. The longer this drags on and the more and more that we get screamed at on the right, there isn't going to be any unity because there is no such thing as unity. That is the Democrat code word for submission. It's unity on our way of thinking, or else we're gonna beat your ass until you either die or you submit. There is going to be no unity. You cannot assault the right for 4 years and then expect us to just roll over like a beaten dog. It's not going to happen, and that is what's happening right now. Okay, if there's supposed to be unity, why is BLM still and Antifa going out and still beating on Trump supporters? Why did BLM and Antifa go and burn down a Biden headquarters over in not New Jersey, Pennsylvania, where he's from? They burnt down all that stuff, and now you've got the co-founder of Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter organization, coming to Biden and saying, "Well, we want to say now for our votes." So now these groups are saying they want a piece of the pie, and they want to say in the same government that they don't believe in. See, there is so much disinformation coming from the left. The media has crowned Biden the winner, and how dare you question us and everything. The media does not make the president. I don't care what they say. They are not the government, and they need to stop pretending like they're the government. The media does not declare who the president-elect is. But see, this is all part of the game now. This is all part of the narrative because, oh, there's no evidence of fraud, even though you've got poll worker and state officials and poll officials coming out and saying, oh, I watch people burn Trump ballots. Oh, I watch people throw Trump ballots away. Oh, we were Republican poll watchers and they stuck us back 20 feet so that we can't watch what they were doing. So the media wants to say there's no evidence, yet all these poll workers and mail workers and all these people are coming out saying, no, there was funny business going on. But no, see, once again, that doesn't fit their narrative. How are we supposed to have unity when you've got people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Schumer and everybody else coming out and saying, well, we need to make lists of Trump supporters and Trump donors and Trump backers, and they need to pay so that we can never have that again. How the hell is that unity exactly? That's not unity. That's terrorist thug tactics. There isn't going to be unity. They don't want unity. They want submission, and that's exactly what they want from us on the right. Well, Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, well, you need to suck it up because we sucked it up when Trump was inaugurated. No, you didn't suck it up. They never sucked it up. They tried to investigate him with Russia for 2 years to say that Russia interfered in the election. Then they proved that was false, the Mueller report. They tried to impeach him for the Ukraine, which all that evidence that came out on Joe Biden and his son Hunter. But oh no, see, once again, because he's a Democrat, that's okay. Biden has links to China. Hillary has links to Russia. Oh, but that's okay. They're trying to steal the freaking election, but no, that's okay. You just need to sit the hell down, shut the hell up, and stop questioning us because we're in charge and that's the way it's going to be. When you have things like the Trump Accountability Project, where they're making lists of Trump supporters, where they're beating Trump supporters in the street like they've been doing the last 4 years. I will get beaten over here in Los Angeles where I live if I were to wear that hat in public. Rational people don't kick your ass because you wear a hat. It's a fucking hat, and yet you're gonna beat me up because I'm wearing a hat for somebody I support. How dare you call for unity? How dare you call for unity on all that drivel and horse crap? This is going to lead to a violent clash because all the evidence is coming out now, and if the Supreme Court does side on the side does come down on the side of Trump, and that there was election fraud, which all the evidence is now pointing to, no matter what Biden supporters and Biden voters and the media wants to tell us, I guarantee you that if Trump manages to swing the election back in his favor and does get reelected, because of all the voter fraud, you mark my words, there's going to be rioting like we've never seen. You thought the summer was bad? Just wait until January when they're trying to inaugurate the president. And even if, let's say that Biden does win legally, let's say the Supreme Court does decide on his side, great for him. You know what? Great. If he wins legally, fine. I'm okay with that, as much as I may not like him. But you mark my words, they're going to come after everybody so that somebody like Trump can never ever get elected again. Why? Because he represents freedom and he represents what America is and should be. He stands in the way. And I guarantee you 74 million Trump supporters and voters are not going to just sit idly by as you trying to attack us. So unity is just another code for submission. There is going to be no unity. The Democrats are not interested in unity. They're interested in submission. That's what it is. They've been trying it the last 4 years, and now they expect us to just roll over. See, this is what comes from defund the police and defund the courts and defund everything. Do you see the logical progression? What started with George Floyd has now bled into election fraud, and we've had police walking off the job. Them trying to, Minneapolis went and got rid of their police department. Do you see that things are getting worse? Because we are not allowed to stand up to these thugs and terrorists like Antifa who do not care who's in charge. They're going to assault everybody. You think that if Biden takes over, suddenly all the problems are going to go away? Now he's talking about 4 to 6 week lockdown for the United States. So there goes the rest of our economy. There is going to be no unity whatsoever. Because unity just means submission. See, the left doesn't want to play by the rules. They want to break all the rules. And that's exactly what's happening with all this crap. All this crap. This is ridiculous. I've even seen Democrats who don't like Trump saying that there's something fishy going on. So if you've got that happening, you know that there's something going wrong. If there's no fraud, then let them investigate, let Trump look stupid, and let him lose in the courts. Then he can't win. Then look at that. Oh, Trump looked like an idiot. He investigated nothing. But see, the problem is that everybody wants to shut it down because, there's no fraud. Please move on. Please pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. If there's no fraud, then get the hell out of the way, let them investigate, and let the courts tell Trump that he's a moron. But no, see, the more you protest this, the more everybody is now starting to think that you have something to hide on the left. Ballots don't just magically come in. Machines don't just magically glitch. Voter fraud has always been a thing. Mail-in ballots are subject to fraud, and that's why the rest of the country doesn't use them. We're the only country that I know of in the world that uses mail-in voting. Europe, for all of its chaos and its kangaroo court elections, they don't use mail-in voting, exactly because they are subject to voter fraud. If I'm a dishonest person gathering paper ballots, all I gotta do is either fill them out that are empty or rip them up and throw them away. Even Europe's like, why is the United States the only people that use mail-in ballots? So this denying of the truth and trying to shut and censor the truth because it doesn't fit the narrative, guess what? That doesn't matter. Because if this is allowed to go on, it just throws the entire we might as well just throw the entire election system in the trash and set it on fire. Because nobody's going to, if this is allowed to stand, nobody's going to trust the voting system. Why the hell should I vote anymore if I know that you're going to change my vote anyways? And investigate the MIT professor, by the way. You think I'm full of crap? Fine. You know what? Go on. There's a guy on Twitter. I'll even share it on here if I can. There's a guy that is an MIT professor that went and made this algorithm that has this whole list of all 50 states, and it shows the states that the votes that switched, and the votes that got lost. California had over 7,742 votes switch, and then 11,000 votes were lost into the ether. Who the hell knows where they went? So you know what? This is all a disinformation campaign. I already know that the media is doing this because if they took a page out of the far right playbook from Hitler's Germany, where Hitler came and said, you know, if you tell a lie long enough and loud enough and often enough, people will believe it. And we're seeing that because there's people not even questioning. I've been screamed at already that, there's no such thing as voter fraud. Well, if you believe that, I can't help you anymore, because you know what? If you're convinced to believe a lie, there's no hope for you. But see, that's a page right out of a page right out of 1930s Hitler's Germany, where disinformation and Russian disinformation. Somebody brought up a good point, a quote by Stalin: the person who casts the vote doesn't matter; it's the person who counts the vote. You think this? Wait, you think this type of fraud is new? Hitler did it, and Stalin's done it, and all these other countries have done it. So this is nothing new. It's not like this has never happened. But like I said, the Democrats, for all the protestations, are taking the page right out of the Nazi playbook. And I can say that because I'm not monetized by this. That's a page right out of the Soviet and the Nazi playbook. You know, just switching votes because you don't like the outcome, or telling a lie loud enough, often enough, and loud enough, people believe it. And we're seeing that now. You've got people who are so convinced that the media is right 100% of the time, and they're not biased. So you know what? This is ridiculous. There's going to be no unity. To think that there's going to be unity is not going to happen. The right is sick and tired of being assaulted, and they're not interested in what the left has to say. The right isn't interested in unity anymore because of the fact that we've been assaulted for the 4 years. We're not going to just roll over and bow down because you suddenly say, we're in charge. So you mark my words, things are going to get a lot worse, especially with the Supreme Court about to get involved. And it doesn't matter what the state courts have said. The Supreme Court is going to hear this because there's way too much evidence for them to ignore. And really quick, because I don't want to go longer than 15 minutes. Lawyers are not going to make up something just to protect the president. It doesn't matter if they're associated with him. Lawyers can lose their licensing for practicing law and their careers if they make stuff up. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but these lawyers are not going to risk their careers. Lawyers are very, very selfish people. They're not going to make up stuff and jeopardize their careers by making up false accusations. So you know what? There's going to be no unity. The BLM organization and the Antifa are nothing but terrorist thugs, And you know what? This is going to get worse. And trust me, the right is not going to sit down and they're not going to shut up. And we want a free election, and you're not going to dictate the narrative anymore. And you know what? To the left, you've got something to hide. And you know what? We're going to discover it. And if you don't like it, well, that's just too damn bad. You have a wonderful day. I don't know if this video will get taken down, but you know what? I'm going to spread the truth, whether you like it or not. You have a good day. Goodbye.